to talk about what does it mean to be an advocate for sex trafficking, for the stop, for this to be stopped in this community and in your past.
Mhm. Thank you, first of all, Lucretia, for having me. It truly is an honor. And for me, I would say education is so important. It's so important that you really take advantage of amazing organizations like Christie House and the services that they provide, and educate yourself of what it means to be a victim of human sex trafficking, what it means, what is sex trafficking, all the different, topics that we've covered so far, and you ladies have covered so far. It is crucial that you understand what it looks like, how it can happen, and then you're able to really provide some kind of voice for these victims. For me personally, the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I could have been a victim. If you also have to realize that these are children, and like Marta said, it can come from any race, any ethnic background, any economic social status. And the reason why is because children, if they are abandoned in any kind of way, emotionally, mentally, physically, and they don't have those needs provided, they can be a victim. So you can live in a high rise somewhere, your parents are, educated and they're wealthy, but they don't give you the attention or the love or the care or the nurture that you need. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? You put yourself in a vulnerable position where if you are online, if you are a teenager at this point where the likes on social media are important, where the more attention you get, you feed off of that, then you make yourself vulnerable. If you're a child that, comes from, I don't know, anywhere in our community that, again, is missing like the things that Marta covered, food, shelter, material things, where your friend has the coolest kicks. I don't know how they say that nowadays, but the coolest shoes. And then you want them, you want the shoes. And then, I grew up in Sweetwater. I grew up, my background is, I'm Puerto Rican, but I grew up in a low income, Hispanic neighborhood. And yeah, the person had something that was nice, and and that intrigued me. Or but I also, if you come from any kind of abuse where you go through in your life, and that's my background, where through sexual abuse that I experienced as a child, I was vulnerable as a teenager to be a victim of human sex trafficking. Why? Because unfortunately, you get to the point where if you're not provided certain tools, like mental health, like, just someone to just really give you those tools to really manage your pain, your dysfunction, all of that, you're going to probably find it somewhere else. So if you have this guy, you don't have to, again, be from the inner city, but if you have someone that, again, you can live in a nice neighborhood, but you're hanging out in Miami Beach, and this guy with the Bentley passes by and says, oh my gosh, you're the model I've been looking for. That's happened to me as a teenager. Like my dream was, I'm going to become a model, and everybody was trying to be a model, and people still trying to be a model in Miami, but everybody is a model nowadays. I'm glad I didn't have social media back then, because you don't have to see those pictures. But you come with this guy with the Bentley, he doesn't look like he's a drug dealer. He looks like he's a basketball player or someone from the NFL, and he's telling you, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're the model I've been looking for. And you're a vulnerable, a child that has this, abuse, that has experience, that has all this, mental, emotional needs. Mm-hmm. And he gets to fill that void in a way. And one thing, and I'll let Marta share more, but one thing I also want to share is that a lot of traffickers are women. So these are your friends that are, your, one story that I heard of a victim, she went over her friend's house to do homework or something like that. And it was a girl's aunt that kind of took her, and she became a victim of human trafficking. So we have to be careful who we allow our children to be around. How do we know, most importantly, that we are nurturing and loving our children, that if we are not able to have the tools to give our child what they need, that we also seek the help. that you seek the help to be able to not come to that position. And if you're not, then, you know, if you're not able to seek help, it's important that us as a community, we educate ourselves. So where the parent is not seeking the help, when they are putting their children in this vulnerable situation, that I can say, oh my gosh, this girl has a certain, you know, tattoo, or she is stressed up, and she usually, you know, where she's getting this money from, or this young boy now is super angry and frustrated and very insecure. Like, all these signs that is important for us to know as a community so we can stop it. Of course, our low income families are a big, you know, a big, you know, they're vulnerable to this. And that's why it's so important that in the community, I can't cover every community. I can't be around every community. We cannot be everyone's eyes. It really takes the community to empower the community, to support the community, and to stop it in their own community. So again, please educate yourself. Please know the signs. Please know that anyone can be a victim. Know where to call, you know. I'll let Marta share. I mean, from my perspective, I know, you know, with the Women's Fund, we started the 305, they started the 305 Fixed Stop. It just makes it easy, you know.
Absolutely.
Because a national hotline is 1-888-373-78888. I can't remember all that. I have 2 young children, so I need something simple.
I had to write it down, don't worry.
Yeah, there's 211. Save it on your phone. You know, there's 211, there's 305 Fixed Stop. If you know that number, then, you know, do that. So if you see something, say something, be a voice for those that don't have a voice. I know that's very cliche, but it really is true. I mean, if you're a victim of human sex trafficking, it is a scary situation to stand up and say, I need help. You know, there's, you know, your traffickers looking at you. You know, there's so many different things. So it's so important that we speak up, because again, like Marta said, a lot of the traffickers are the parents. They're trafficking their children. So it really is the community to say, wait, I see that you're doing that. This child has a problem. Obviously, it could be their parents. Let me go ahead and seek the help and help.